Good morning, Michael here, and today I'm going to go through my Ghostbusters Kenner collection. So they're some of my favourite figures that I've got. They're all original ones from the 80s. Nearly all of them were mine or my brother's in the 80s. There's only a couple that I've picked up since. But on the first shelf here, we have the original 4 Ghostbusters. So there is Egon, Peter, Ray and Winston, and then there are their little mini ghosts. And I always thought it was such a good idea to package them with these ghosts, and it was an idea which they carried on through to the later figures as well. So these ones all come with a proton pack that does twiddly twiddly twiddly. And unfortunately Egon's pack is a little bit broken, but the rest it's the handle on his blaster, but then the rest of them are pretty much all right. Now at the back here we have the Green Ghost, or Slimer as he was in the cartoon, and he comes with these cool like rubber fruits. And then here is Ecto-1. So I'm not going to get it out because they're all balanced against it. But Ecto-1 comes with this little ghost. And then at the back here, this is a Panini Real Ghostbusters sticker album. Now, I am terrible at collecting sticker albums. I always used to start them, buy a few stickers and then start the next one. I never used to finish them. But as you can see, this one here is one of the first ones that I nearly finished. I think I've just counted, I'm missing 22 from the album. And yeah, really cool. And what I liked about it was it actually had pictures from episodes that had yet to air in the UK at that point. So then moving down to this shelf here, so this has got mainly like ghosts on it, but we have a Real Ghostbusters Marvel UK annual, and then here is my favourite Marvel UK Ghostbusters story they did. It was an Easter special, and it involves the Ghostbusters basically protecting this swamp monster created by pollution, and it ends up fighting loads of purple ones. And I still think this is where my love of Swamp Thing probably comes from. So I'll do a separate video on my Marvel UK comics, because actually I've got quite a few of them. But then moving down here, so we have my brother's original Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now, unfortunately, it's got these dirty marks on it and a couple of marks at the side, and he's always proven to be a problem to clean. These are actually paint transfers, so he must have got hot at some point and some paint has transferred off of another figure onto him, which is a shame. And then this is one of my more recent pickups. This is Ecto-3 here, and there's the ghost that it runs and it chases. And I got this one recently. And then here is my original 80s rubber ball from Ghostbusters. There you go, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in there. And then here I have a mini Glooper. So I unfortunately don't have the other one. And then here we've got some Universal Monster style characters. We have Quasimodo Monster. We have the Mummy Monster, who unfortunately falls apart really easily. The arm comes off as well. That's actually the gimmick of the figure. It comes apart, but just one knock and normally it tumbles. And then here is a very cool Frankenstein monster. And as his arms raise, his mouth opens and shuts. So here's Ecto 5000. So it had these kind of tentacly things at the front to catch monsters, but actually if we move them around too much, I think they're going to split and fall off, so we're not going to do that. But here is the very cool, and I think it's my favourite of the little ghost that came with it. I like it's got another hand coming out of the top of its head. And then here is the mini shooter. So this here, you squeeze it and it pumped out these little ghosts. I've actually had the little ghosts for a while, but this is a more recent pickup, the actual shooter itself. And then here is, and don't know, I've had this one like for donkey's years, but this is it glows in the dark, and it's from one of the Ecto Glow figures. And I never had the figure. I don't quite know how I acquired the ghost, but there you go. He's been in my collection for quite a long time. And then this one here was the first one that I got, the first big ghost. This is the bug-eyed ghost. You'd hit it and the eyeball fires out. But I'll sort that out later. And then here is one of 2 mini traps. Now I like these. So you open the mouth and then you push in on the tongue and it slams shut. And I always thought that was very, very cool when I was a kid. And then this is Haunted Highway. So again, this is a more recent pickup, this one. Found it in a junk shop and gave it a clean up, and actually all works fine. So that's quite cool. And then behind I've got these 3 Ghostbusters books. Now they're all based on individual episodes, but what I like is the connecting front cover as it swirls across each one. So I think they're quite cool. And then this little random thing here, this is actually a temporary tattoo, and it's from a box of Shreddies in the 80s. So I remember getting that and lots of other ones, but this is the only one that I can still find. And then here's a Marvel puzzle book that they did. Came with a Slimer Chewy bar. I've eaten that, I ain't got that anymore. Now over here, I've got the fire station up on the top of my shelf. But first of all, I really like this. Again, I've always had this since I was a kid, and I don't know where it came from. It's got no like made by markings on it, but I always thought that was very, very cool. And then here on this bottom shelf, I have the haunted, possessed figures. So I'll just move them around. This is Granny Ghost. I quite like this one. So if I fold her down, she actually ends up being a granny that looks a bit like my nan. And then pop it open, and yeah, horrible, horrible teeth. There's air sickness that I'm not gonna tinker with at the moment. And then this is my all-time favorite one. This is Mal Fraud. I like how he has these kind of chompy teeth, but turns into a postman. Or should it be turns from postman to ghost? Let's just put that back there. And then this is off of Wicked Wheelie. I actually found that. And then there's the rest of Wicked Wheelie. Now up the top here, these 2 are actually from the top of bubble baths. They're bubble bath lids from the 80s. So I remember getting them one Christmas. They were very, very cool. And then here, swinging round, we've got Fright Features Ray, and then Super Fright Features Egon and Janine. So they're quite good. They've got little action, squeeze their arms, and their kind of like heads explode or their eyes pop out and things because they're really scared. And then up the top, a couple of little random ones, and then 2 Screamers, Screamer Ray, Screamer Winston. And then right at the very top, there's my Ecto 2, which is unfortunately missing its rotor wings, and the containment units. There we go. Very, very cool fire station, and I'm really, really pleased with all the figures that I have. So I didn't realize how many I had until about a year ago when I started putting them all out on the shelf, and it's made me think, oh, I'm going to get some more. So now I'm always on the lookout to get some of the figures that I am missing. More the ghosts. I feel like once you've got the 4 Ghostbusters and Janine, you don't really need to have any more of them, but I am now always on the lookout for more ghosts. Thank you very much for looking. Take care.
Daddy, can you?